Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back for Divine iRacing Division 1 round Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. Tonight I'm going to do my intro nice and early because we are going to be going off racing very, very shortly indeed. Um, yeah, we got a sprint weekend today. So one shot qualifying in both the sprint race and main race. So going to be tricky for drivers to keep it within track limits, of course. It is a track that is very difficult. I mean, very easy to invalidate, very easy to pick up track limits warnings, therefore penalties. So just being able to hook up a solid lap is going to be absolutely crucial for the drivers here tonight. Um, so let's talk about the course really. It's a 5.5 kilometer track that features an impressive kind of 20 turns and one of the steepest inclines in F1. It's a 41-meter hill that greets drivers into turn one. It's an uphill left-hander. It's known for its sheer kind of intimidation factor as drivers are really not able to see the corner. And in the opening laps, of course, we're going to have drivers bundling down into turn one. It's going to be chaos. So expecting a couple of incidents early on in the as my headset just turned off randomly. Apologies for that. Um, but yeah, of course, after sector one, we've got some interesting turns really into a series of sweeping like five or S curves really through turns 3 to 6. Very reminiscent, of course, of Silverstone's Maggots and Beckett's. This is a driver favorite track. Promotes plenty of overtaking opportunities. And of course, with the main bit of Sector 1 being so technical, it's going to demand precision, rhythm, and trust in the car's downforce as well. Hard to kind of balance between high downforce levels and, of course, wanting to have that straight line speed when it comes to the DRS zone of coming into turn 12 really. So quite a nice balance at the moment, but we'll run through the driver standings really quickly. So at the top of the driver standings, we do have Kaka, who is on 85 points in that Williams, here racing again tonight. We've got the Steps following closely behind in second place on 75 points. Yuri picking up 61 points at the moment. Paddy had a great recovery in his last race and has secured himself 56 points at the moment. Into the constructors, we do have the Racing Bulls, who have been able to, despite them not being, well, they've got a P2 and a P5 in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. They are sitting atop of the constructor standings with 119 points, followed by Williams, obviously being led by Kaka, who are on 101 points, therefore followed by Mercedes, the drivers of Paddy and Jazz, who are in third position at the moment. Still lots to play for. Early days, of course, we are on round 4 today, and of course we have 16 races to go, or not to go, but 16 races in total over the course of this season. So plenty to fight for. Still early days. Can almost say that we are 25% of the way through the season. But of course, let's turn to the track where we've got one shot qualifying. Going to be interesting to see what the weather is going to be looking like throughout the course of the session through the sprint race. And it looks like we've got a dry session at the moment. I don't know if that's going to be changing. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see that. But yeah, it will be interesting to see if there is a wet patch coming along some point. Maybe the race, the main race, is supposed to be raining. What do the drivers set up their cars as? That will be an interesting decision for the drivers to kind of figure out. We do have actually a reserve driver in tonight, or someone who has not raced before in um, in Divine iRacing. I believe his name is. Let's have a quick look. Trang, Tranquiloson. Tranquiloson. Stepping in the McLaren tonight, so it'll be interesting to see what his pace is like. But of course, welcome to Divine iRacing, Tranquiloson, and best of luck. Oh, and I believe the steps has mentioned rain at some point. Okay, and here we are. We will go on board, stay on board with Oluwaritsi, who at the moment is P4, going down into turn 1. Of course, the uphill braking zone. Really hard to keep it within track limits, of course. Holland, of course, in P1. Tranquilosong up in P5 at the moment. Of course, we're hoping to see all 20 drivers, or all 19 drivers, set a time. No one invalidating. Tranquilosong with a little bit of a wobble on the exit there. On board with Oluwaritsi, who's dropped down just a little bit. He says he has no practice tonight. Oh, and that was just about kept within track limits, I believe. Track map, let's enable that. Bundling down into this tricky turn 12, I believe it is. Want to use a little bit more of the curb than that, but nonetheless, no practice, so Oluwaritsi. And Cutthroat has retired from the session, so I'm not sure what's happened there, whether he's completely binned it into a wall. His pedals may be broken again. Oluwaritsi at the moment, and Holland, despite being slightly intoxicated, is still in P1. Oh, a bit wide there from Oluwaritsi. Drops down a couple positions as a result of that, but Holland with the fastest lap with a 30.6, and Tonga was disqualified from the session as well, unfortunately, I believe, for track limits. So incredibly unfortunate there from Tonga. We do know he has some fantastic one-lap pace, but there you have it. That is your starting grid for the sprint race. Holland in P1, a mere nearly 7/10, setting him apart from Duke in P2. Fantastic lap from Duke, by the way. Was able to put a gap between himself and Yuri. But of course, that all doesn't matter in the race. Ooh, wow. That is some pretty big gaps between P2, P3, and P4. Track limits, GG. Unlucky there, Tonga. Unlucky. But wow. 4.6 seconds between Holland and Jazz down in P16. But Cutthroat, Tonga, and Mini Turns were the ones who were unable to set a lap or a valid lap. And Tonga was looking at P2. Oof, that is tough. All about damage management, I guess now. Try and pick up as many points as you can, Tonga. Of course, I'm not sure what kind of points are awarded for sprint races. I will have to check. But, ooh, it's looking pretty overcast at the moment, so perhaps some rain to come in this sprint race. And let me have a quick look to see rules and regulations. There we go. Sprint race points. So points are awarded from P1 down to P10. P1 picking up 10 points, P2 picking up 9 points, therefore all the way down to P10 that picks up a singular point. So plenty to play for, Tonga. Of course, if you can get yourself a point or so. Of course, we know you've got some great pace. Just all about doing those overtakes cleanly on track. Try and stay out of incidents. Try and stay out of out of track limit warnings and so forth. The same goes to all drivers, of course. As here we go. Looks like we've got a formation lap going. And I think everyone should be, yeah, I was going to say, everyone should be on the mediums, but Jazz has opted to go for the softs. I'm really not sure how well they're going to be doing. Of course, you'll have that advantage in the opening 3-4 laps, I'd say. But the medium is definitely the better tire around here. And I believe I don't know if I was just seeing things, but I thought I did see little droplets of rain at some point there. I think that's my brain playing tricks on me. But Paddy, good to see him in a position where he deserves to be, really. Top 4, he is definitely one of the top 6 drivers, top 4, top 5 drivers in this league. And hopefully he's able to show that today here at COTA as well. Steps wanting to get along with his formation lap. He definitely doesn't like to dawdle and keep his tires up to a specific temperature. So good to see him kind of getting things moving. Hopefully he doesn't have any contact with Yuri here. Oh, that was nearly tragic. Who is that? That is Kaka, who's doing some unorthodox methods to warm his tires. Oluwarichi has unfortunately missed his pit box, and so has Kaka as well. But nonetheless, we'll go on board. Fantastic view from the 2 drivers in front. She will stay on board with Paddy. But here we go, getting ready for the sprint race here tonight in Texas, United States. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And there's a couple drivers with drive-throughs. That's so unfortunate. Alivariadis, Divine Eye, and Mr. Rios, or Marios as well. So unfortunately, their race is absolutely ruined. Early days as we have some contact going to turn 1 as expected. But Yuri able to get ahead of Duke very crucially into turn 1. And we got through the S section now, able to follow very closely. Hopefully not too closely to the cars behind. Tonga already up into P14. And Tonga is up 4 positions. Cutler up 5 as well. Early doors, so fantastic start for them. Oh, bit of a slide for Paddy, and is that going to be inviting Kaka onto the back of him? Getting the slipstream, use of ERS. Not closing in too much, able to get the slipstream, and now uses the rest of the overtake to get the move done nice and early before the braking zone. Paddy just try and fight it back. Oh, I believe Kaka did have a little bit of a moment touching Duke, the car in front there, and unfortunately was able to, or gave the position back to Paddy. So Holland's building a gap. He's already up to over a second now, so crucially for Yuri, crucially for himself, should I say, Holland, he is out of the DRS of the car behind. But we know Yuri has some fantastic pace. Let's see if he's able to close back up. Otherwise, he will be under threat from the cars behind. As Holland sets the fastest lap of the race. Marios is coming in early to serve his drive-through penalty, and so does Sparrow as well. Not sure if Sparrow was just a drive-through or... Yes, it looks like just a drive-through. So no damage there. Mini turns also coming in. But we're on board with Yuri pushing now to see if he can get back within the DRS of Holland in front of him. And I believe Holland had a fantastic section, S section, and was able to keep the gap at 1.1. He's going to be wanting to work together with Duke here now. If he can, let Duke pass, get back within the DRS of Holland in front of him. But Yuri has hot lap mode enabled. He's not wanting to give up position early doors, as Yuri does defend to the inside, runs him off track as we saw Max Verstappen do to Lando Norris. So not the best of working together there as we go on board with Paddy, who makes a move on Duke now. So Duke unfortunately not able to get the position on Yuri there, and as a result has actually lost a position. Not sure that was completely fair racing from Yuri there, but nonetheless it is what it is. Let the stewards figure it out. And I'm not getting too many great camera shots here from this onboard camera. We're seeing Kaka now getting a move done on Duke, who's now down from P2 he started the race at, down to P5, and Kaka gets the better traction coming out the exit of the corner there, and able to keep P4. That would definitely be a track limits warning for Duke. Alavriadis is still with the drive-through, so only no penalties as yet, but I'd imagine those are going to be starting to pick up fairly quickly. And on board with Paddy now. Let's see if he's able to get a move done on Yuri. I believe Yuri will be fighting this to the max. He's got hot lap mode enabled, so Paddy pushing all of his ERS to try and get the move done, but Yuri seemingly not wanting to work together as we have an incident towards the back. I believe that was Mihu, unfortunately. Mihu seems to have had a little bit of an incident with someone. Ooh, sliding all over the place for Paddy. Not too happy, or the car is not too compliant with his inputs, should I say, as Kaka's really pushing Paddy through these corners here. Wanted to recharge a little bit more ERS, so both on similar levels at the moment. Yuri doing a good job of managing his, does have more than most of the drivers behind, and Duke picks up what I believe would be his second track limits warning. So one more, and I believe Duke will be picking up a penalty. And Alavriadis comes into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. This is really a fantastic section for the drivers here, so technical, and it definitely feels good once you've nailed it. As Mihu picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limits warning, so that is our first warning tonight. Paddy's had the DRS here, so did not have the best sector 1, lost DRS to Yuri, and now Kaka's going to have the best of runs with the use of DRS and DRS, I'd imagine. Here we go. One to close up to the back of Yuri. Yuri without DRS, of course. Is he able to close up? And Duke makes the move past as well. That's not the best area. But Paddy seems to be struggling with recharging ERS. I'm not too sure if he is flicking the ERS mode usage down to none. Doesn't look like it, but we've seen that in a few races now where Paddy's not able to recharge his ERS effectively. And from the beginning of the race, really, he seems to be struggling with that. But nonetheless, we've got a nice ERS train from P3 down to P7 at the moment. All of these drivers very capable of winning races. I mean, Haaland's kind of checking out a little bit, but Kaka seems to be closing it in a little bit as we have our second penalty handed out for track limits warnings, and that is Shermanator. And is Kaka able to stay within that 1 second of the car ahead? Doesn't look like it on this lap, however Duke is close behind and will most likely pass Kaka at the moment. Alright, we're going to see a double overtake from Paddy as well. Yellow flags in sector 3, that was the Kicksauber of mini turns, as we see Duke not going for the move, closing in very quickly, and Kaka locked his rears there, I believe, so had a little bit of a moment. These cars really want to try and work together if they're going to try and hunt down Yuri. Just cutting on to Cutthroat. He's trying to make a move on Tonga. Tonga has now moved up to P9, so at the moment securing a couple of points, up 9 positions, so fantastic start. We're first opening 6 laps from Tonga. He's got Cutthroat on the back of him now within DRS, and I'd imagine, oh, Tonga is enabling the ERS. DRS open as well. Are we going to see a move coming into turn 1? Tonga goes defensive. Around the outside, is he going to make it stick? And Tonga, a little bit of a lag there. And Cutthroat gets the move done. Fantastic move there from Cutthroat to retake the position on Cutthroat. We see Duke all over the back of Kaka, and 100% we're going to see a move being done here. It's like Kaka might be holding up the car behind, and Duke makes that move nice and easy up into the podium position on Kaka. Are we going to see a move from Paddy as well? Brakes late, but goes a little bit wide. Oluwaritchie really challenging him here. And the steps following closely as well. Are we going to see a move down the inside? No, we are not. So Yuri picking up a time penalty now. 3 seconds for multiple track limits warnings. Of course, he has a 2.5 second gap at the moment to Duke. So if he's able to, of course, build that gap up to over 3 seconds, he will keep that P2 position on track. At the moment, it's not too sure. It's 2.6, it's 2.7. It's all over the place. Kaka and Duke really have to work together if they want to get Yuri and secure more points for themselves in the Constructors, in the Drivers' Championship. They really want to work together, DRS swap as much as possible, and hopefully able to secure that. As we see Cutthroat now picking up a time penalty as well for track limits warnings, and he's pushing Tonga in front, who is recharging as much battery as possible. I'm not sure if he has any damage, but he was going very slowly through that section, unfortunately. And the gap now from Yuri to Duke is 2.8, 2.9. Yuri is using that hot lap mode to try and keep a little bit of distance between themselves, and Kaka is not really gaining that much on the car ahead of Duke. So it looks like at the moment they are happy to settle and fight it out for P3. Oh, Oluwaritchie, a little bit of a slide there, and the steps. Oh, unfortunate for him, Oluwaritchie. That was really unfortunate for both drivers. Both drivers picking up 3 second time penalties. Ugh. Not sure how the stewards are going to be seeing that one. Whether Oluwaritchie has just simply lost the car. But now it is a fight for P3 between Duke, Kaka, and Paddy. Who's able to keep charging their battery at the moment? It looks like Kaka's in the best position, really. Over 60% battery compared to Duke, who has just about 30%. Paddy, who has about 25% as well. So the time penalty situation, let's have a quick look. Yuri with 3, Oluwaritchie with 3, the steps with 3, Cutthroat with 3, Shermader with 3, and Mihu with 3 as well. And that's Duke losing the car through the X section, and he unfortunately has lost plenty of positions. So at the moment, P3 is down to two cars now. We've got Kaka and Paddy. What is Paddy going to do now? Is he going to stay in the DRS of the car? But there's Yuri. Yuri's in the wall. Oh, not quite in the wall, but he's had a spin. Oh dear. Now he's all the way going down to P6 at the moment. Illegal overtake. Uh-oh. A little bit of a moment there. But that was the game, really, unfortunately. Ooh, can we see a move from Tranquilison? Yes, no, not quite. Steps. Oh, these racing bulls, P6 and 7, both having moments with other drivers, unfortunately. Or Duke was just by himself, I believe. And really unfortunate there to lose out. So Kaka now in P2, Paddy following closely in DRS. Let's go penalties. Steps trying to make a move. Or Tranquilison making a move on Duke. So Duke now going down from P2 to about P8 in the space of 1 lap, I believe it was. Tonga. It smells blood in the water, and Duke has had another moment, unfortunately. So, and he's damaged his wing. He's in the wall. That is really unfortunate from Duke. Is he going to try and find reverse? Is he going to try and find reverse? Looks like he's not able to find reverse. And he's had enough, I think, because he's just not moving at all. Let's go back on board with the front runners. Duke has been disqualified from the session, unfortunately, due to being parked in a position where he doesn't want to be. Yeah, really unfortunate there. But Kaka looks to be in the strongest position, really, of securing this P2. Paddy is really struggling with the car. I'm not sure if that setup is suiting him too much. But Kaka looking in a really strong position to continue his championship fight, or championship charge, really, should I say. But we can't go without mentioning Haaland, who is just in another dimension at the moment. Rounding. Ooh. And Paddy, not sure what happened with Paddy there, but he's lost P4. Oh, Paddy's lost P3 to Olorichi, who of course does have a time penalty up ahead, 3 seconds. So if Paddy's able to just kind of stick with him within that 3 seconds, of course, he will secure that podium position. And of course, ooh, Paddy really struggling with the traction. Yuri is missing a front wing end plate. And what is going on? Oh. Yuri's going all over the track just to try and keep position if he can. Maybe see a big send, not quite. Yuri's going to use all of his overtake here, and Tranquilison lost the car on the exit there. Doesn't really matter if Yuri overtakes these cars on track. Big send. Oh, not quite. Just he loses his position to Tranquilison. This is a brilliant fight. Oh, the contact there. Yuri not having the best race. But as we round the final corner, on board with Haaland. Is he going for the fastest lap? He is not, 7/10 off his time. But congratulations to Haaland, rounding the final corner to win, and Kaka securing a fantastic P2 for himself. Olorichi is going to be dropping down to P4, but nonetheless, solid drive from Paddy, solid drive from Olorichi, and the steps coming home in P6, because Tonga was able to stay within 3 seconds of him, or the car ahead. Fantastic race from Tonga to come from, what, last 3 spots on the grid to a P5 finish. Really well done for him. Tranquilison on his debut secures a P7. Yuri won't be too happy with that, with a P8 finish. Cutthroat picking up a couple of points for the Haas team there with a P9 finish, and Waza as well picking up a P10. So congratulations. Congratulations to all the drivers who were able to secure some points. Tonga, that was incredible, man. Really well done. Really well done. P5. P5 is incredibly solid, mate. Congratulations. Just make sure you don't invalidate for the main race, and then you'll have some of the big points. That's where the big points are on offer. as we are getting ready for the, or actually one-shot qualifying once again. As I'm reading the chat now, and we've got drivers arguing, unfortunately. Hello, my friend, my drunk friend, Lopo Tikichi. How we doing? Are you sober today? Always sober. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. How we doing though? All good? Thanks for tuning in. Not possible for you to race today, or how come? You have to go back. Here we go. One shot quali once again. For the second time tonight. On board with Oliver Ritchie. And I believe he's invalidated already. Around Christmas he can race, so unfortunately for Oliver Ritchie, invalidation. Let's go on board with Tonga, who's in P17. Never mind, he's up to P2. So I had a really good S section. And is now coming down into the heavy braking zone before the long DRS, or DRS straight, should I say. Oh, not the best exit there, but still only loses one position at the moment. And Haaland now into P1, despite running, I think, 50-50 wings. So I'm not sure if that was completely the truth, but still on board with Tonga now is wrestling the car through this section. A very tricky section, of course. Locks the front left. But regardless, looks to be on pace for a top 3 finish. That was incredibly close to invalidating right there. Oh dear. And Yuri sets the fastest lap. I believe that was. Yuri sets the fastest lap with a 31.2. Haaland, so really solid pace there from Yuri in that final sector. P1 for Yuri. Haaland securing a P2. Tonga in P3. Solid performance from Tonga, or Tongina. The steps with a P4. Kaka with a P5. So this top 5 will be incredibly close. Despite the qualifying pace, Haaland, you're my child. I think Haaland's in the chat, bro. Lopo Tikashi. I think he's in the chat. We seem to be getting all kinds of craziness going on in the Division 1 chat, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. I think the guys need to calm down. Allô mon gars, on est là? I don't know what that means, bro. I mean, I did a little bit of French in school, but not too much. Or are you speaking to Holland? I think he's in the stream. I'm not too sure. Holland, show yourself, bro, if you're here. Hey, there he is. This migrating host is so fucking annoying. I didn't see where Paddy finished actually, qualifying. Oh, Paddy. Oh, unfortunate for him. Down in P18. That's not what he's gonna want. So here we go. On board for the formation lap. Get these things stuck on. But I'd imagine so the only strategy that you should be doing around here, in my opinion, is medium hard. There we go. Anyone who knows what they're doing. Yuri and Holland, Steps, Kaka are on mediums. There's a few drivers on the hards. And they're gonna have a tough time of it. I'm telling you that now. Medium hard is 100% the way to go on this track. But Tonga, I mean, as long as he's able to stay in the DRS train, I'm not too sure. Yeah, nah, he's gonna be cooked, I think. I think Tonga's gonna be cooked. Tonga, bro, you're in the chat. Why did you go for hards? Should have gone for mediums. But put some predictions in the chat, boys. Or Lapatikishi, put some predictions in the chat, bro. Who do you think is going to win? What's the top three? What's the podium? What's the podium looking like at the end of the race? I think Yuri and Holland take each other out. Or maybe Tonga takes him out. No, I'm joking. Who knows? You raced here in DRL, and from what you think, hards are the best. I mean, hards are the best tire for sure, but you want to be getting off that off those hards, or using the hards towards the end of the race for this particular track. But regardless, best of luck to you, and we'll see you towards the end. I mean, of course, you need to try and stick within the DRS of the cars ahead. Don't fight the medium runners too hard. But from lap 10 or so, that's when you can fight. You're gonna have a lot of work to do once you pit for those mediums, but regardless, I'm not here to be an engineer. I'm here to be a commentator. We'll stay on board with the steps, as everyone should be lining into their final grid slots at the moment. We don't get the best view from here, so we'll go on board with... This is gonna work. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the main race here tonight in Austin, Texas. The Steps gets a fantastic run on Tonga into turn 1. Let's see if Tonga covers it too much or fights it. Going around the outside. A little bit of a wobble on the exit, but Haaland not able to get past Yuri early doors, but the Steps securing a position, or P3 position, from Tonga. Down through the S sections Tonga's going to have a couple of laps to really try and get these tires up to temperature, of course. But as long as he can fight and keep in this 1 second of the cars ahead, he's going to need to use some ERS to do so. As long as he's able to stay within this DRS train, his race could come to him, as we see Kaka having a little look down the inside now. A little bit of the use of ERS. Try and get this move done. Tonga is defending with the use of ERS himself. Side by side now, hurling down into turn 11, and Tonga thinks better of it. As we see a fight at the front as well between Holland and Yuri, going side by side. Yuri outbrakes Holland, but Holland going for a little bit of a switchback. Another switchback, and that's a fantastic move. Oh, I think there was some contact there. I'm not sure if it would have had some damage there. That was a little bit of a lag moment. Some fighting early on, we'd love to see it. Not waiting until DRS has been secured. You see Olorarichi making his way up through the field, down up to 13th now from 19th on the grid. So a fantastic start from him. Let's go on to positions gained. So Olorarichi up 4 positions, Waza up 5, as well as Cutthroat. So solid start for those drivers. Shermanator up 3, up into P7 as well. So solid positions for him gained at the moment. Paddy making a move on Mihu now up into P14. The steps now in a good position, I'd say. I mean, of course, you want to be the second man in the DRS train, or the first man in the DRS train, I'd say. Not Yuri, that is, that it's Holland. So Holland is in prime position at the moment to secure the lead of the race. Does enable the use of overtake. Yuri has the hot lap mode enabled, and Holland pulls out the slide, out of the slipstream. Use of ERS, they are side by side. As Yuri, are we going to see him fight it? Down the inside. Oh, pushes the steps a little bit wide there. 3 drivers going almost side by side. The steps loses the car a little bit, but able to keep it on track. Getting pushed through the corners now by Kaka, who's looking keener and keener to get this race moving and on with, and not lose time with the cars behind, of course. Oh, Tonga also down a couple of positions, but he is, of course, on those hard tires. As we see one big DRS train from P1 all the way down to P8 at the moment. Cutthroat holding the cars up behind. Shermanator doing a fantastic job as well. Up into P7 as we see fights for the lead. I'm trying to get the best angles here. See the steps. Yuri followed by the steps, followed by, sorry, by Holland, followed by the steps, followed by Kaka, falling so closely through this section, and Kaka going a little bit wide. Is that going to be an invite for Tonga behind? Nope, follows in behind smoothly. Steps is looking really solid tonight, I have to say. Early doors, Tranquilison as DNF'd on the exit of that corner there. You can see it's McLaren, unfortunately, stricken by the side. This is going to allow the drivers to recoup their DRS, their ERS, should I say, with the VSC that has been deployed. Shermanator seems to have lost a little bit of time to the cars in front. I'm not sure if he had a little bit of a moment or if he's just playing safe on the Delta, but he was within that DRS train ahead. There we go, he's closed back up once again. And Jazz, we were back racing under green conditions, and I believe we had a little bit of a Kaka who was, the Steps who was over his Delta, I believe, not wanting to pick up penalty and was a little bit asleep on the restart there. So Kaka now moves into P3 position. Yuri has broken the DRS of the car ahead, or never mind, he has secured DRS. Holland has secured DRS. We're going to see a move for Rios. Yes, we are on Divine Eye. Down the inside. On the exit, going side by side. Very respectful racing. That was lovely. well done by Murios and Divine Eye. As we see many turns now, and Duke and Jazz Perez seems to have had a little bit of an issue, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he seems to have no turning. And Paddy, I think, as well. Not sure what's going on with Paddy. Has he lost? Yes, he has lost a bunch of his front wing, really. So he's going to be incredibly slow, so that's unfortunate for him. Yuri keeping P1 over Holland, who's happy to sit behind for now. Tonga doing a fantastic job on these hards, but they are going to come to him more and more in the race. Kaka out of the DRS now, has to really try to push through this section, secure it. 1.0 for 1.1 seconds. He's going to maybe perhaps let Tonga through into turn 1 to rejoin that train once again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. He needed Tonga. Or never mind. Never mind. Some kind of lag. Harlan setting the new fastest lap of the race. As we go on board, who's really pushing Yuri through this section now at the moment. But these two seem to be in a race of their own at the moment. Kaka doing everything he can to try and close back up. Where did Bro go? Oh, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it was just a little bit of a lag. I mean, Tonga is racing from Uruguay, I think it is, so the connection might not be the best for him. Tonga's going to want to make this move past Kaka now. Holland's not making the move on Yuri. As Tonga's got a little bit of work to do to catch back up to Yuri, or Yuri and Holland really. Of course, Kaka and Tonga are really going to want to DRS swap as much as possible. Cutler kind of in a race of his own at the moment with Alavriadis and Shermanator. Oliver Ritchie doing a fantastic job as well, up from 19th on the grid I think it was, or 16th or something. 17th I think he started, yeah, there we go, up 8 positions. Is now on the back of this little train here for P6. So good pace from him so far. Hopefully all the drivers are able to stay penalty free as much as possible. I mean, we do have a couple of 3-second penalties already. Holland is a DRS merchant like you, absolutely. Yuri pushing Holland through, and then we have yellow flags. I think that was Mini Turns who is DNF'd on the pit entry. Ooh. So a difficult one now. If you're the drivers who are on the medium tires, do you pit and go to the end from here? Most likely. I would say yes. If you're Tonga, who's on the hard tires, Cutler is also on the hard tires, you've also got a little bit of a difficult decision. What do you do? If you're on the hard tires, do you pit? If you're on the hard tires, do you pit? Don't think so. I would say maybe go on to... Yeah, never mind. I think if you're on the hard tires, you stay out. Yeah. Paddy said you a twat. Daniel Walsh. Who is that? Who's Paddy, mate? Okay. Who the fuck are you, Daniel Walsh? We have Holland coming in, Yuri following him as well, Tonga staying out. Lots of the medium runners coming into the pit. Cutler staying out. Alavriadis missing the pit entry and hitting the wall. Alavriadis, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? But as at least Paddy's able to kind of close back up now. Alright, cool, Lobo. Have a good one. Catch you in a little bit. Waza staying out. Waza has stayed out, and Divine Eye also stayed out. Kaka for the win. Ziad, welcome, bro. Welcome, my friends. It's gonna be a difficult one. You've got fresh hearts for Yuri. Holland, I'm not sure what happened to him. Why did he come out in P8? Or maybe he had to change his wing. Maybe he had to change his wing. So that's unfortunate for Holland. Of course, he has a couple of, I don't want to say slower drivers in front, but he should make quick work of Divine. The Steps and Kaka are going to be, of course, they pitted this around the same area. Olor Richie in P10 at the moment, so just how many drivers have not pit as of yet? So the top three haven't pit: Tonga, Cutthroat, and Waza, followed by Divine, who also has not pit. Paddy's done 2 stops. Of course, he had that wing damage, but should be able to close back up at the end of the next lap for the safety car restart. Bit of overtaking under the safety car. I'm not sure what was going on there. One more lap under the safety car before we go racing once again. But Yuri's gonna want to get moves done on Waza and Cutthroat as quick as possible, really. Try and get on the back of Tonga, and with those fresher hard tires should be able to create the gap that he's looking for. But gonna be really wanting to get these moves done nice and early so that he can keep a few cars between himself and Holland. I'm back. Yeah, they are retarded. I'm not sure who you're referencing there, but yeah, there was some heated arguments going on in the chat. Unnecessary, of course. And we see Kaka running into the back of Yuri. I'm not sure if that's going to be a penalty. Hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't have any wing damage. Doesn't look like it at the moment. When does Tonga pit? Tonga's going to have a lot of work to do come the end of the race, but if there's any man with the pace to do it, it is Tonga. Lockup bug is awful, that is for sure. It's just creates so much smoke and yeah, it's distraction. Overtaking going on at the back of the field. Safety car is in this lap, confirmed as we see Duke. I'm not sure what's going on with Duke. He seems to be on AI mode, which is not allowed. So is Paddy going to report that? I believe Paddy will most definitely report that. What is Duke doing? So let's go on board with Tonga now to see when he drops the hammer. Every car should have had the chance to recharge their ERS. And let's go back on board for 20 more laps of racing. And a decent getaway from Tonga now. Cutthroat drops Waza as well. As we see Divine Eye, who's had a little bit of a spin unfortunately, and Jazz has a disqualified from the session because he ignored some yellow flags. Never mind. Let's go on board. This game is shit. On board with Cutthroat now, really pushing Tonga through. He doesn't seem to have had his tires up to temperature as of yet. Yuri going side by side with Cutthroat. Cutthroat, they are friends in real life. He does not make it hard for Yuri, but he does try a little bit of a switchback. Kaka behind, really wanted to get past as well. Using the DRS or the ERS to defend. Oh, there was a bit of contact up ahead from Yuri and Tonga. Is this going to be a move in turn one? They're 3 wide nearly. Big send from Yuri. Tonga goes off track, and is he able to rejoin safely? A little bit of contact in different areas there. Kaka trying to go around the outside of them both. Could be a big switchback on here. Around the outside of one. Is he going to make the move on the other one? Haaland picking them apart. Simon as well goes down, but down the outside of 2. And he's up into P2 already. So Haaland was in P8, I believe it was, and he's already up into P2 on the safety car restart, lap 1. So a little bit of an incident there between a few drivers, allowing Haaland to get through, and now Yuri's going to be under pressure once again. Into turn 1, is there a Red Bull going around the outside? That is Tonga, who's able to make a lovely move on Cutthroat, and I believe it was Kaka as well. But Kaka's really got to try and get past these cars ahead if he wants to have any chance, really, of securing the most amount of points. I mean, of course, Tonga, Cutthroat do still have to pit, so he will get those positions on track anyway. But him, Steps, Shermanators in this battle as well, going to really want to do everything they can to try and secure. Kaka went down the inside of Cutthroat there. Cutthroat has the advantage of a slipstream. ERS, DRS, and Tonga would not have any defense for this. Absolutely not. 2 drivers go by in one straight, or do they? Tonga going off the track once again. Let's not go on board with Tonga because he is lagging all over the place. And now that's allowed Shermanator through past Tonga as well. So a bit of a moment there, and although Richie's joined, Waza's also joined the battle. But we see Haaland already on the back of Yuri now, half a second away. Cutthroat, there's a bit of a gap now to P3, 3.8 seconds, so Kaka really needs to do everything he can to try and pass these cars as soon as possible. As Cutthroat is using his ERS to defend, Kaka's not using any of his ERS. Going down the inside, Cutthroat, a little bit of contact there, which is allowed the Steps to do the double switchback on 2 cars. Lando Norris type situation there. Charles Leclerc into the lead of the race. Well done, the Steps. Now he can work together with Kaka to try and close back up, if they can, to the top 2 runners who are running away with this race, really, I have to say it. But you can tell the hard tires, the worn hard tires from Cutthroat, really not happy under the traction. And Tonga, is he going to go down the inside? No, he's not, because Cutthroat does not have the DRS. Struggling under traction there, but Tonga's going to have the use of DRS, the use of DRS as well. Pulls out of the slipstream in order to make this work, but Kaka and the Steps working together very nicely indeed to fight off Tonga behind. Olo Richie as well wanting to join in on this fight. So the 2 Haas's, no team orders here. So we see him cutting back a little bit. He's going to want to do everything he can to get past Tonga and onto the back of the Steps if he can, to fight for that last podium position. Doesn't look too happy with the car at the moment, but another fastest lap for Haaland, who has actually now gapped Yuri. So he got past and was able to gap him now for the lead of the race. No DRS for Yuri is looking like on this lap. But if the Steps now and Kaka are able to work together, they can really kind of close back up to Yuri. DRS swapping every lap at every opportunity. They could be on something here, as we see Paddy now moving up into P10 side by side with Waza, that was, wow, that was some feisty racing. I just hope he hasn't picked up any damage. Doesn't look like it. Wing looks still intact, but Waza's going to be slowing the cars down behind them who are on the fresher rubber. Going to have a lot more pace. Waza is within the DRS of the car ahead. Livriadis almost pushing him through, but the steps of Kaka working together nicely as anticipated. Oluwarichi now making the move on Tonga. He's come back and he's actually picked up a time limit warning. We got that door slammed. Absolutely, that was as aggressive as you could be going side by side through the X section. That is my position at the moment. To be Shermanator and Cutthroat going side by side as well. And Yuri's been able to close back up to Harlan now. So I'm not sure if Harlan must have had a little bit of an error somewhere or just incredible pace from Harlan, from Yuri, but as we see a little bit of a switchback move done from Harlan, and that is Sparrow who is into the wall and will be, unfortunately he's lost his front wing and drops down, I believe, not to last place, not quite. We see Waza in the pit. He has picked up front wing damage from that little incident with Paddy, so not too sure on that one, if that will be recorded or not, but the fact that he's picked up wing damage is never ideal. Yuri using this moment with the DRS to recharge some of his battery. See how quickly he's recharging down the straight. As we see the steps and Kaka swapping once again, working together very nicely indeed. I hope these two are able to close back up, because that would be fantastic the way they're working together. It would deserve something like that. As we see Cutthroat now going around the outside of Shermanator. Shermanator fighting back. He's on 6th lap, younger tires, so he's going to have an incredible advantage traction-wise. Ooh, sends it down the inside, kind of. Fakes a little bit of a move, but thinks the better of it. Fights another day. Cutthroat still yet to pit, so going to be wanting to take his tires as far as he can. Pitting onto a set of medium tires around lap 18, I want to say. Allowing him as much opportunity to close back up to the pack as much as possible. Tonga's now gapped. He's now gapped. Sorry, Olorichi's now gapped Tonga. Of course, with the age of tires, you'd expect that. Shermanator doing a great job of recharging here, and then we're going to see a move from Rios. Thinks better of it. Shermanator, or Harlan is fighting this, and Yuri has picked up a time penalty. So I'm not sure where that was, but unfortunately Yuri is in the lead of the race. And 17 is fastest from what you tested. There you go. Engineer Engineer Lopatikishi in the chat feeding back, and just be seeing all kinds of contact going on here between Cutthroat, Sherman. What is going on? I'm not quite sure what was going on there. But that gap between Harlan and the steps is kind of stable around that 4.8, 4.9 area, so unfortunately not able to close together for the steps and Kaka. It looks like it's going to be these two fighting it out for P3 come the end of the race. Top two in the championship from what I recall. But Paddy was able to make a move on Sherman into there. Cutthroat already doing a good job of holding these guys up in front. Shermanator picks up the time penalty for his woes. Back on the steps, swapping once again. Really don't want to bring Olo or Richie into the fight. Just DRS swapping alone. As we see Shermanator, who's had a little bit of an incident, into the wall, I believe it was, and he has lost his front wing end plate. So race over for Shermanator, unfortunately. As we see Cutthroat outbraking himself, goes off track and picks up a 3-second time penalty for his woes. Rios on those 8-lap old hards, gonna want to do everything he can. As Haaland's actually gapped Yuri now on this lap. Yuri does have the DRS from what I see. Some big gaps all over the place. So who still has to pit? So I believe, yeah, Tonga still has to pit, Cutthroat, and Divine Eye. Let's go on to this. There we go. So the gap between the Stabs and Olo Richie up to 4.1 now. So these two working very well together indeed. They'll fight it out, come the end of the race, hopefully able to recharge enough DRS to really have a good battle between them. As we see Cutthroat without DRS, Rios with DRS should be a fairly straightforward move, and it is indeed. And is Rios able to close up the back of Paddy? Cutthroat's fighting it back. Down the inside. You haven't pit, bro. You have not pit and you're still fighting it out like this. You're wasting your own time. Some people, man. Some people. Yeah, anyways. Yuri still just lingering that gap over 1.1 seconds or so. But he does have that buffer with the car behind of 6 seconds, so maybe just perhaps happy to settle for a P2 tonight. I mean, that would be a fantastic position, as we see Tonga now pitting at the end of lap 17. So he has taken Lopetegui-She's engineering advice into account. And let's see what he's able to do. My eyes are on him. He's got a big group of cars up ahead. Up to Paddy, I want to say, up to P6. So P6, if that's the target for Tonga tonight, that would be, or if you can finish in P6, that would be a fantastic result. A lot of work to do though. 11 seconds of the gap to close back down. Cutthroat will pit, so that will be one position gained. Paddy's still on those hard tires as well, but let's not go and roll with him because it's jumping all over the place. Cutthroat running into the back of Mihu, losing a bunch of time for himself. Yeah, he needs to pit. He needs to pit. And the gap between Haaland and Yuri now up to 1.7. Kaka still doing a very nice job hanging on to the back of the steps. Steps using ERS to try and stay ahead, really, so perhaps he wants to be the car in front. And are those clouds getting grayer and grayer? Could we see some rain towards the end of this race? That would absolutely spice things up. See Shermanator in P13 at the moment. Will get spun around by Divine Eye, unfortunately. That was Divine's fault, unfortunately, I have to say. And he lets him back as a gesture of goodwill. But regardless, it will still hurt. Cutthroat refusing to pit. He's going to be going onto some soft tires, I'd imagine. Tonga is closing up quite rapidly to the back of Alagriadis. Does have that 3-second time penalty, of course. So he's going to want to try and stay within track limits as much as he can, really. Now until the end of the race, softs are shit. They are absolutely terrible, but for some reason Cutthroat really loves the softs. So each driver, each to their own, I'll say. See a move down the inside from Mihu. No. He knows the car ahead has to pit still. As you see yellow flags, that is Shermanator, I believe. He's had a moment, and that is unfortunate for him. Inters are better than softs. That is an interesting one. Rios doing a fantastic job staying in the DRS of Paddy up ahead. This could be a fantastic finish for him if he's able to eventually get past or stay track limit free or penalty free. Sloppy S section there for him, lost a couple of tenths to Paddy, the car ahead. Fantastic job from these two, just swapping. I have to keep saying it, but it's the most efficient way to use your race pace. As we see Shermanator coming into the pits has, yeah, not sure about that, and that'll be him retiring from the session, I'd imagine. Yep, that is him done for the night. So 4 retirements so far: Shermanator, Miniturns, Tranquiloson, who DNF'd into the wall, and Jazz, who was disqualified, unfortunately. For a little bit of an issue, but Maria, oh, no, it's Mihu, picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. So that's 6 seconds for Mihu now. Paddy has managed to recharge some of his ERS, so doing a decent job there. Let's see where Tonga is. So Tonga's closing up to the back of Alagriadis now. 3 lap old medium tires. And a P6 finish is on the cards for Tonga. He's able to clear these cars efficiently, effectively, not use too much of his ERS, although he seems to be all over the place. Doesn't have that much ERS to play with, really needs to recharge. Alagriadis pulling off the side, so it doesn't look like he'll be fighting this too much, and Cutthroat is still out on those hard tires. Tonga recharging now through the section, very smart from him. Rios has got past Paddy now. Is Paddy going to make a move here? They're both got on the overtake, so both fighting the position. Paddy opting to stay behind. I think if you use overtake, if you're going to use overtake, you should just go for the move, because otherwise you're just wasting your ERS. You see Tonga making another move now up into P9, so wanting to get onto the back of Mihu and Paddy as quickly as possible, and he is bringing the time down very rapidly indeed, already by 3-4 tenths just in that sector alone, down to about 1 point, nope, 1.1. Is he going to get ERS? Don't use your ERS, buddy. There we go, no ERS for you. DRS for you, should I say. Steps making a move on Rios. Just doing a fantastic job, it must be said. Briatis and Cutthroat still yet to pit. Just make sure I am seeing that right. Yeah, Cutthroat the only driver yet to pit, so he's hoping for a safety car. He really is. I mean, he's down in 10th, so even with a safety car. Oh, and Hala picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. So Yuri, if he would have done a better job to try and keep up with Holden, I know it is not an easy task, then perhaps he would have been able to be in with a shot of winning this race really. But both with 3-second time penalties now, as I mentioned, it is a tricky track to keep within track limits. Bro is the ultimate genius, he is too smart for us. What do you mean Cutthroat? We'll see how this pays off. As we see Tonga now on the back of Mihu, who goes wide. This will be a fairly straightforward move for Tonga. Doesn't use too much DRS hopefully. Uses a lot, he's still on it. Now 3.4 seconds to the cars in front of Rios and Paddy. That is where he wants to finish tonight. P6. Richie just having a nice little Sunday drive, or a Monday evening drive should I say, in P5. Solid race from him. Can't remember where he started, but yeah, he started right at the back, didn't he? P16 or so. So P16 to P5, definitely be happy with that. No more time penalties for you, Tonga. Come on. Side by side with Cutthroat, just pushes him off the track there. So, not the best driving standards that we're seeing from Cutthroat, especially when you haven't pit yet. So, I'm not too sure what's going on. Having a little bit of a mistake there. And he's fighting this. He's still fighting it. Fakes move to the insides. Fakes move again. Yeah, all of this is just wasting Alabriadis' time. I'm not sure what Cutthroat is thinking here. Are we going to see him pit? Goes off track once again. Nope, refusing to pit. Well, now on board with Tonga, who's on the back of Marios now. Needs to charge up his battery because Rios has more battery than him. Try and get this move done early, and then onto the back of Paddy as well. Bird's going to get a puncture. I would not be surprised. Cars jumping all over the place. DRS, using DRS. Are we going to see two moves done on Paddy now? Nope, Paddy is using his DRS to defend as much as he can. Rios gets the move done nice and early for the braking zone. Tonga a bit unsure there. Ooh, slide into that corner there. Paddy trying to make a move around the outside, just that stays within track limits, I believe it was, pushing Rios out wide. Rios trying to make a move around the outside, but stays behind for the moment. Tonga watching this battle go on, really needs to charge up his ERS to try and make this move and get past and create that 3-second gap he really needs. He does have more ERS than the drivers in front of him now, so he's able to charge through Sector 1 now. He will be in with a shout of clearing these drivers. Those mediums are getting more worn by the sector, more worn by every turn as Rios picks up a 3-second time penalty now. So on-track battle for position between Tonga and Rios now coming up here. It's a good run, bit of a slide there from Rios. Gonna try and get the move done into the braking zone. Looks like it. Round down the inside, gets the move done fairly nicely indeed. Paddy, is he on the battery? Does not look like it. He's turned it on now. Tonga has a lot more overspeed. Paddy goes defensive to the inside. And that should be the move done nice and early for Tonga. Does go a little bit wide. Paddy's able to fight back on the exit. With a bit of a squeeze there from Tonga. Switchback attempted from Paddy. Not having the traction that Tonga has compared to those fresher medium tires. Paddy's been on these hards for quite some time, I believe. Let me see. 22 laps Paddy's on the young hards. So yeah, compared to 8-lap-old mediums, he's not going to be having the best of traction. But now, can we see Tonga create that gap that he needs? 3 seconds in 2 laps is all he needs in order to secure a P6 position for himself tonight. Goes defensive. Oh, Tonga's fucked it and has now got Rios to deal with as well. He's in none for this sector, which is a good idea as long as he's able to stay. Colin is so tired, man. Bro, you're racing right now. Why are you commenting? you're literally in the middle of a race, bro. Why are you in the chat commenting? This guy, man. I mean, I suppose when you have a 4.5-second gap, you can do whatever you want. But Tonga does not look like he's going to be able to create this gap, using a lot of ERS to try and fight Paddy as he goes down the inside, or down the outside. Bit of a squeeze there from Paddy. Love you too, Holland. And we see Tonga get the move done for a second time. Now he's got 1 lap to try and create this gap. But he's recharging. He's allowed Holland, not Holland, to close up to the back of him. And Tonga has let him pass for DRS, it seems. Pit goes off. Too late for that, I believe. Oh no, we have 1 more lap of racing after this, but Cutthroat still hasn't pit. And I guess he's going to pit on the final lap of the race if he really must need to, but he's going to come out not in last place, but I believe in 14th place. Penalties, yeah, look at him. He's not got any turning, not got any grip on the traction whatsoever. Steps now, and Kaka, who's going to come out on top in this battle for the podium position. the final podium position, should I say. They've both got full batteries. Tonga and Paddy really doing a lot of battle here. I mean, at the end of the day, Tonga, you're going to be dropping down to P7, so definitely not worth fighting this one too much. Let's see the steps. Sitting behind for now. Are we going to see any DRS games played? That is going to be an interesting point to see. Steps is in hot lap mode, so you will have less DRS to play with, I believe. Not quite. Goes up quite nicely through the S section. Ooh, a little bit of moment from Kaka there, not what you want. Okay, both on very, very similar ERS levels. Steps closes in nicely under braking there. And we're going to see them both. We're going to see Kaka try and break the toe. No, he's staying in a straight line. That is not what you want to be doing. You want to be trying to break the toe as much as possible. And this has allowed the steps to easily get past into turn 11, 12, whatever it is. And now Kaka has just kind of given up the podium position. Is he going to be able to have one little look? He's not quite close enough into this corner here. It does take a wide entry, but the steps is coming across the line. Looks to have this one covered off really, and that is a deserved podium. And I've missed the onboard really of Holland crossing the line, but Holland securing a P1 finish, Yuri in P2, the steps, and Kaka really battling it out for that P3 last position on the podium, and then the steps comes across to secure a podium position, followed by Kaka. Oluwaritchi in P5 coming across the line, not a bad position for him considering where he started. Tonga has got 3 seconds, not quite. He's managed to clear Paddy and Rios, but it's not going to be by quite enough. And Paddy, I think, will come across the line to jump them both. Yes, he will. Into P6. Paddy securing P6. Tonga with a P7. So not the race Tonga would have wanted, considering where he started. Down 4 positions from the race start, but it was always going to be a difficult one to clear that much time, or that much many positions in the time he had. You see Divine doing some lawn mowing. Cutthroat. Wait, Cutthroat did pit, apparently. Let me see what Cutthroat did go on softs on the last lap. I was not able to secure the fastest lap though. But Divine coming across the line in P13, P14 for Sparrow, and that is that is your final standings there after a sprint race and main race tonight in Texas. Paddy's driver of the day. I think Paddy blocked rear tires. What do you mean blocked rear tires? In the last lap, or puncture or something? I'm not sure. Not sure what you mean by that, but solid drive nonetheless, Tonga. I mean, good recovery. Told you, medium hard is the strat, my bro. Medium hard is the strat here. And there you have it. So after the results of the sprint and the main race, Holland picking up maximum points with a win in both races. Kaka with a P2, no, not P2, but P2 on points. Never mind. Let's go. Results for the race. Yuri picking up a P2. The steps with a P3. Kaka P4. Oluwaritchi solid drive from P17 to secure a P5 position. Paddy with a P6 as well. After P8, starting P18, so these two here really making their way through the fields. Well done to these two. Tonga, not ideal, but still solid regardless, with picking up some good points. And all the way down to the bottom, we had 4 DNFs. Duke, yeah, Duke's going to want to forget this race quite quickly. But nonetheless, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely evening, and we'll be back next week for next week. What do we have? What do we have? We have Singapore. Oh goodness, I hate that track. But Yuri loves it, so we'll see. My money's on Yuri to win Singapore. But thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening, and catch you next week.